Kenneth Branagh is back as Hercule Poirot in the third and hopefully not final film in Kenneth Branagh's adaptation trilogy franchise of Agatha Christie's novels. And I know what you're saying. K-Bra is great and all, but I saw the end of Death on the Nile. If he's back, is the Mo back? Because he lost the Mo at the end of Death on the Nile. Do not worry. I don't know if it's a retcon or some kind of continuity error or maybe some kind of character growth / arc that I won't spoil here. His glorious, sublime, very big mustache is back. Hey guys, I'm Jax and this is my spoiler-free review for A Haunting in Venice, Kenneth Branagh's new film that he directs and stars in. This film is an adaptation of Agatha Christie's novels Halloween Ends. No. That's not right. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. This film is an adaptation of Agatha Christie's novel Halloween Party, which is the first film in this trilogy which I wasn't aware of the novel whatsoever. I was totally aware of Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, not so far as that I knew like whodunit in the whodunit mystery of it all, but I was aware of them as pop culture iconic things in pop culture. They're my big pop culture bank that is 80% of the memory knowledge in my brain. I was aware of them, so I'd never heard of Halloween Party, so I had no idea where this was gonna go, and it's a horror film. Like, that's the big thing about this film, the third film in this franchise, that separates it and makes it super unique, super different. But don't get too scared. If horror films aren't your jam, do not worry. It is still a murder mystery. It's like a murder mystery. Like, it's exactly the same as the other two. It's a murder mystery. It's in one location after a certain point. Hercule Poirot locks the doors and he's like, one of you people did a murder and I'll talk to you all separately. And then at the end of the film, I'll be like, I figured it out. I'm a genius. Mustache twirl. And then you go, wow, I wouldn't have figured that out. Is that because you didn't give me the clues or because I'm an idiot? Maybe both. And so we've got all the classic Hercule Poirot, Kenneth Branagh stuff going on, and once again, Kenneth Branagh is an absolute delight. He just kills it in this performance. Like, I love him in everything. Anytime I see him pop up, I'm always like, Gilderoy Lockhart, I love him! That movie where he tries to kill his neighbor's dog and maybe does, which I watched when I was very young, and I'm like, I don't know if I like Gilderoy Lockhart in this light. In hindsight, though, I think I would love that movie, or maybe it's too sad for me. I feel like I'm at a point in my life right now where I don't want sad movie. Not to say anything in my life is sad, but Kenneth Branagh just kills it. His mannerisms, his just cadence, the way he just vibes around all of these suspects and just figures it out. And then we get little moments where we kind of deep dive into his psyche and his kind of personal stuff. It's all done exceptionally. It's as good as the other ones, but now it's the third one. It feels like it's just such a rich character at this point, and we start at a really sad point for the character. And so the transition and like his arc over the movie as he kind of grows and learns, I won't spoil like exactly what, but like when the movie starts, you'll kind of see it's either going this way or that way. And what it did, I found to be very satisfying. Like, it's not the most complex thing you'll ever see, but for what it is, I found it incredibly satisfying. And just, yeah, he's the standout in this film once again. Not to say that the cast of suspects aren't great. Once again, he has collected an amazing cast. I will say, it kind of feels like a little less stacked than the first and second films, and I kind of feel like the second one felt the same, like in terms of like the first film, Murder on the Orient Express, just stacked. Every single cast member, massive A-lister, or like a B-lister almost becoming an A-lister. Like, just stacked. Like, the definition of stacked. I can hear myself. I've said the word stacked too much. Bear with me, I'm gonna keep saying it. And then the second film didn't really feel as, pardon the expression, stacked as the first film, and now this third film doesn't feel as stacked as the second film. But that doesn't mean that everybody in this film whose names I do not know aren't amazing. Everybody, amazing. The standouts happen to be the ones that I know the names of. We get Michelle Yeoh, who has one sequence in particular that is terrifying. Like there are some like jump scares and there's some horror moments that I enjoyed, but I feel like if you're here for like horror, you're gonna be like, this is more like, it's a little tamer. Like, I think the atmosphere and the mood and the tone, like the vibe of it, I felt really like thrilling and exciting in that how different it was for the murder mystery, but it's not like full horror. Like, it didn't give me a visceral scare, and I didn't feel really upset, except for one scene, which I found quite chilling. Or kind of like two scenes, one builds into the other, and they both involve Michelle Yeoh. She just kills it in this role. And then the other person that I recognize in this film is Tina Fey, who seems post 30 Rock to be like, I do murder mysteries now. We've got Only Murders in the Building, and now we've got this. I guess I feel like two examples doesn't feel like that's like what she's doing now. It's just more like maybe a happy coincidence. I feel like if I had a third example, you'd be like, she is just a murder mystery girl now. But let's presume she'll be in a third one next year, and you'll be like, ha, Jax was right. He knew Tina Fey was now a murder mystery girl. She's great. She's great. I don't know what to say. She's always amazing in everything. So the big change for this film compared to the rest of the trilogy is that it is not just a murder mystery film, but it's a horror film. And it's set in Venice. And for like most of the film, like the other two where it kind of locks it down in a train, then a boat. Now this time, it's in this giant mansion in Venice. And there's a storm outside. And the streets of Venice that are water are rising, so they can't escape this giant mansion. And it feels like this gothic nightmare horror film, and it is awesome. Like, that whole vibe, that aesthetic, we're just stuck in this giant gothic castle mansion thing in Venice, and it just has such a great vibe. The lighting is gorgeous and dark and moody. It's very striking. The cinematography, I think, is the main standout compared to the other two films. Like, if you loved the other two films, the murder mystery, the Kenneth Branagh, the whodunit of it all, but were like, I wish the cinematography was striking, imposing, menacing, exciting, kind of interesting and dynamic and crazy, this film will floor you. I found the cinematography and the staging and the blocking of characters and moments to be exhilarating and exciting. It was just so well captured in this mansion. You feel claustrophobic, you feel trapped, and I feel like we didn't really get much of that in the other two. Like, there would be shots and moments where I'm like, it's a pretty cool CGI train and some snow. Or I'd be like, those pyramids don't look that bad. My brother, who thinks the pyramids in the second movie look bad, they were fine. What do you want? You know the pyramids are CGI. What do you want? I imagine his answer would be better CGI pyramids. And to that, I would say, fair enough. If you love Kenneth Branagh's direction, and in particular, you love the movie Thor, and you were like, I love how many Dutch angles there were. I know they kind of felt weird and out of place, and you kind of don't notice when they're gone in 2 and 3, but then when you go back to 1, you're like, so many Dutch angles. And for those who don't know, Dutch angles is when the camera's like, usually like this, but then it goes like, bah! Or blah, or I won't move and I'll deal with the camera. That's a Dutch angle in this film. Oh my lord. So many Dutch angles. I didn't realize Kenneth Branagh loved Dutch angles. I thought he was just like, oh, it's a comic book or whatever. Ooh? Ooh? No, he just loves a Dutch angle. It's all over the shop in this. It's incredible though. Like, I don't hate it in Thor. I kind of love it. I just love Thor. I don't know. I just love that movie. So I just don't care. But in this film, like, the choices and the moments that these Dutch angles are on felt very purposeful. Like, it felt like it had this vision of what the film wanted to look like and feel like, and I got that watching the film. Like, I felt intoxicated by this vibe they created, and the times where they would just like show objects and things or doors or like the waves crashing against this mansion they're stuck in. Like, it's just really, really fun, interesting camera work and stuff. And just, it was awesome. Overall, I was overwhelmed by how much I had fun with this movie. It's a movie in which it's like a whodunit, and I didn't even care who done it. I'm just like, I just loved the journey. Like, I truly just had so much fun with it. I love horror, I love murder mysteries, and I love giant mustaches. So this film really for me is a 3 out of 3. One of my favorite films for the year, unless you don't like horror, murder mysteries, and for some reason are the only person in the world that doesn't like mustaches, then this film is not for you. But let's be real, everybody loves a good mustache. Like, not just any old mustache. Like, if I shave this beard and just have a mustache, that ain't no mustache. I've got to have the whole package for it to even half work. And it might even, I mean, does it even work? I'm not saying it does. But I'm talking a big, thick, glorious mustache on a man like Kenneth Branagh. No one can pass that up. And if that's you, like, comment, and subscribe, or whatever, even though I'm mocking your taste in upper lip decor of a man.